midweek wrap-up intro here.
Absolutely. Welcome to midweek wrap-up.
Yeah. We had a fairly, not condensed, but NXT was...
It gave the time that everything deserved.
Yes, that's
what it did.
You know,
it was
quality over quantity.
Exactly, which is why we appreciate NXT so much more than the main roster. Don't mind my voice; it's still going. It'll probably get worse over the week. But we open up with our first match was a tag team match that we found out about last week,
Yep.
where Sanity's Killian Dane and Alexander Wolf took on the team of what I'm calling Hideo No, which is Hideo Itami and Cassius Ohno. Hideo wrestled pretty much the entire match.
Yeah.
Because the one time he went to try and tag in Cassius Ohno, Cassius was distracted by Alexander Wolf, and then when Cassius got back up and asked for a tag, Hideo refused.
Yeah, needless to say, their teamwork wasn't on par. It was not on fleek, as the kids call it.
It's a strange way to use that. Yeah. No, they were not working well together. Cassius Ohno ended up getting taken out, and Hideo... What? Oh. Hideo missed a blind tag and went for the go to sleep on Alexander Wolf, which he hit, but as Alexander Wolf dropped off of his shoulders, he was crushed by Killian Dane, and Sanity picked up the win.
Killian Dane, a man who knows how to crush people.
And so here we have a big kind of grouping of story building here. We had Ember Moon talking about working towards another shot at Asuka since she's not back from her injury.
Yeah.
But apparently Ruby Riott really wants that spot as well.
Yeah.
Because Ember's already gotten a shot. Ruby's never gotten a one-on-one shot against Asuka, so Ruby's looking to take that spot away from Ember Moon.
Yeah. But Ruby, I mean, I know you never got a one-on-one shot, but you have had 2 alternate shots.
But Nikki has had just as many and finally got her. Finally got her single shot as well.
Yeah.
So Ruby hasn't had the same...
That's fair.
She hasn't had the same grace as everyone else has. So Ruby wants that spot. Speaking of championships, Drew McIntyre is still looking to be the NXT champion, but realizes that there's a few other people in place, and he doesn't care whether it's Bobby Roode. He doesn't care if it's Roderick Strong. He doesn't even care if it's who apparently people have been talking about, Killian Dane getting a title shot somewhere around the corner. He doesn't care because all roads lead to Drew McIntyre being NXT champion.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, I've never really heard of anybody talking about Killian Dane potentially getting a title shot.
But he's undefeated.
Yeah, that's really the only thing he's got going for him, though. Because right now it seems like he's kind of
Distracted.
in the group thing.
Yeah, he's a little distracted because Eric Young has some massive plan for Sanity. So,
well, you know what? Let's the whole idea of Sanity trying to run all the belts. If you give Dane the shot at the championship, that leaves Eric Young and Alexander Wolf to team together for the tag belts.
Absolutely.
Let's do that.
Also, sorry about that. Next week we get the return of Johnny Gargano.
Yes.
Which is great for us potentially because we get to go to NXT next week.
Yeah.
And
that'd be nice if he was there.
It would be really cool if he is there. We're not really expecting it, but it would be awesome. So yeah, he officially makes his return next week.
Yeah, he's going to come out and he's going to let everybody know his side of the story.
Yeah.
Which is probably, I am sad now.
Yeah, it's going to be really emotional. I'm not ready for it. I'm still not prepared for what Ciampa did at NXT TakeOver. It's too much. And then Billy and Peyton Royce are mad because nobody wished Billie Kay happy birthday.
Or got her present.
Or got her present. Peyton Royce was the only one that did it.
She just wanted cake.
That's all she wanted. She just wanted cake. But their shouting was overshadowed by the screaming of Andrade Cien Almas and Thea Trinidad, who were yelling and slamming lockers. But
and slapping counters.
Yes. But no one wanted to talk to Kayla.
No.
Kayla couldn't get an interview. All Andrade said was that Thea was crazy. And then he walked away.
Hashtag Tanae Young for NXT.
Hell yeah.
She's the backstage correspondent NXT deserves.
And then our main event, Bobby Roode put his title on the line against Roderick Strong.
In a pretty much half-hour long.
Yeah, a little over 30 minutes.
Classic.
With they got to do everything that a big title bout needs, because they did the whole video package. They did pre-match promos. They did their full entrance. They
commercial
did
breaks.
I mean,
I still don't understand why network shows have commercial breaks.
it's your product.
Because it's not, they're not like sponsor commercials. It's not like in the middle of NXT we get like Hot Pocket commercials or DiGiorno commercials or
Rocket League commercials.
yeah, except the plugs every now and again.
Which those are fine because those are on the show.
But it's like, do you need a commercial on the network advertising the network that we're watching the show on? Because obviously, I'm just saying, if you're watching NXT, I guess, I don't know, they still do it on Hulu?
They do. They still do it on Hulu.
That's your only grace right there, but I'm pretty sure when you're on Hulu, you're getting different commercials.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is that on Hulu, the commercials are built in. Like, that's just, the video literally stops and does a commercial and then starts again.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're watching NXT on the network, so obviously we already have the network. So you don't need to be plugging the network so hard, because that we're watching it already.
And on top of that, you end your shows like a couple minutes before the hour or the half hour is up, because not everything's like that full hour, half hour block. And so then you put in little bits here and there before the next show. So why not take out those little bits, or maybe intermit those little bits with commercials between shows?
Yeah.
Maximize your time.
There you go.
But regardless, Bobby Roode versus Roderick Strong was a fantastic match.
Yeah, it was very, very good. I cannot say enough good things about Bobby Roode's selling.
He's amazing.
The way he sells everything. Cause I was just thinking about the way he was selling his shoulder at TakeOver against Hideo.
Yeah.
And now selling his back against Roderick.
Well, Roddy doesn't pull any punches with his backbreakers. Like,
no.
He lays that shit in, so he doesn't really give you much of an option. And Bobby Roode makes that very apparent.
Yeah. Man, and then the roller coaster of an ending that this match had. Roderick Strong had everything in the bag, nailed his finish, hooked the leg, and went to pin Bobby Roode, but right between 2 and 3, Bobby Roode got his foot out of the ring, and the ref didn't see until Roderick Strong got up to celebrate. The music started playing, the ring announcer started announcing.
The crowd's going nuts, Roddy's hugging his fiance and his mom. It is an emotional situation.
And then it was Drake, right?
Yeah, it was Drake.
Had to be like, no, Rodri.
Roderick Strong.
No, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, you didn't actually. His foot was on the road, and you could even hear Roddy go, "What? What are you talking about?"
Yeah, and then Bobby Roode attacked him.
Right in front of his family.
A glorious DDT on the outside, right in front of his mom and fiance, and then rolled him back in the ring and gave him another glorious DDT.
And Bobby Roode is the biggest piece of shit on the NXT roster, and I love that he is such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Because when he hit that glorious DDT on the outside and then he stood up, he even just showed himself off to his fiance this is what a champion looks like. Then tossed him in, hit that second one, and it was over.
Yeah, and not to take away anything, because Bobby Roode also sold his back after both of those DDTs.
Yes.
You know, before he can gloat, he has to put over the fact that he's hurting.
Yeah.
You know, he's a goddamn modern day Ric Flair almost.
So you're saying if we put him with the Revival, we got ourselves the makings of a potential horseman.
Absolutely. If I'm gonna be completely
okay.
honest.
Question: Bobby Roode and the Revival. Who's your fourth horseman? I've got one in mind.
That's a tough one. But to fill in the boots of Barry Windham, Lex Luger, the biggest guy in the Horsemen sort of thing, I would go Buddy Murphy.
Really?
Yeah.
You'd go another NXT guy? Okay.
What are you thinking?
I was gonna go Cesaro.
Yeah, I think Cesaro's a little bit too big and flashy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Buddy Murphy does a shooting star press though.
Hasn't done it on TV.
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah, it's a secret. It's the best kept secret.
Alright, that is it for NXT. Let's move on to Lucha Underground.
The final 4 matches of the first round of the Cueto Cup.
Yeah, finishing up round 1. We found out a little bit of what Dante Fox's backstory is. We knew that him and Killshot were in the army together, and that Killshot escaped and left Dante Fox behind. So what we saw is that after Dante Fox was left behind, the reason he was left behind was because Killshot literally couldn't get to him because insurgents ended up converging on the base and took him as a hostage and kept saying, "We need you to help us find this man who killed all of our guys. We need to kill him or we're going to kill you." And then Dante Fox was rescued by U.S. troops. And so through all of the punishment of them saying that he needed to find Killshot, it's been ingrained in him that that's what his purpose is, which is why he's made his way to Lucha Underground and why he has such a hard-on for Killshot.
Until we reveal that his partner behind the scenes benefactor is Muhammad Hassan.
I'd be okay with that.
And they try to tie this into his 2005 angle against The Undertaker.
I'd be okay with that.
And Undertaker debuts on Lucha Underground.
No, he's already on there. He's just wearing a snake mask.
He has nowhere near enough tattoos.
That's true.
To pull off a real Undertaker.
Our first round match of the night was PJ Black versus Sexy Star.
Yes.
Good to see both of these competitors back. Fantastic match between the two.
Yeah.
But the Worldwide Underground is definitely working together as far as who's going to advance in this tournament. Because Taya decides to make herself apparent at ringside, trips up Sexy Star at one point, and the referee sees this and is trying to back Sexy Star off, and Taya ends up pulling out a pair of brass knuckles that she tosses to PJ, and so referee's telling Taya, hey, you don't need to be here, and all the while, PJ goes for a shot on Sexy. She's able to knock the brass knuckles off of PJ, while Taya is still distracting the referee. So now Taya sees her moment because Sexy decides to pick up the brass knuckles, and just as she lays a good shot on PJ Black, the referee turns around and PJ Black wins by disqualification.
Yeah, which is a rarity for Lucha Underground.
Yeah, which is nice when it's like, oh, they don't do that very often.
Yeah, but it like, and I know they kind of tried to play it off on commentary too, though, that like Dario almost forbids disqualification endings.
But he appreciates violence.
Yeah.
So I'm sure a brass knuckle shot is like, that's cool.
Sexy Star will probably get like a prize for that.
She might.
She'll probably get a prize in the form of fighting Taya at Ultimate Lucha 3.
That could very well be a thing. Then we had Son of Havoc versus Son of Madness.
Yeah.
Apparently, we're kind of getting the vibe that this is a biker beef.
Yeah. We're bringing a little Sons of Anarchy.
Yes, I felt like everything, all of the information that Vampiro was giving me, I was like, bro, I knew that from watching 6 seasons of Sons of Anarchy. But yeah.
I knew it from watching 6 seconds of Sons of Anarchy.
That's true. You know most of it from the first, 3 episodes of Sons of Anarchy. So yeah, apparently Son of Madness was...
I'm waiting for a third biker to come in and his name is just going to be Son of Anarchy.
Could they do that?
Probably.
I wonder. I'd be okay with it, because I love Sons of Anarchy. So yeah, apparently what we're kind of getting is that Madness was sent in to just destroy Havoc because potentially he left the gang that he was in.
Yeah. Even his MC.
Yeah, his MC. And so...
We don't call them gangs anymore.
Wait. We could.
We could, but they wouldn't appreciate it.
Probably not. Don't beat me up.
Beat him up.
No, shut up.
Whatever gang the Son of Havoc.
Oh, you called it a gang. Beat him up. Bring your entire MC to beat him up because he calls you guys a gang.
Only if y'all wear the same matching beanie masks.
Anyway,
big fuck all beards.
These two, I still don't know who Son of Madness is.
Nope, I looked up 8 different people on Google search while I was watching the match, and none of them looked like they fit the bill. So,
but he's great.
He did a really good job.
He meshed well with Son of Havoc. A fantastic match back and forth.
Is that crazy propped Son of Havoc inside the turnbuckles?
Oh yeah.
And then double stomp him on the back of the head?
Yeah. No, it's not very often people can set up a good I have to set the person up on the second rope and do a move, but that was very well done.
Tucked him in.
Yeah, it was good. But eventually, Son of Madness tried to go for a cheap roll-up and tried to pull the tights, and Son of Havoc kicked out and then got a pin of his own. Didn't grab the tights, but had enough leverage.
He used the same roll-up.
Yeah, he used the same roll-up, had enough leverage, and Son of Havoc advances in the tournament, but Son of Madness dropped him and took his cut. Yeah. So maybe that's all Madness came for, because Son of Havoc is...
Son of Havoc's gonna look naked without that vest.
He's gonna come out with a new one. Borrow Escrita Sagradas.
Just want him to come out with a sweater vest. Come out with one of those Randy
Son
Orton,
of softness.
One of those Randy Orton sleeveless hoodies.
I'm sure Rey Mysterio has one.
Probably has one of the Randy Orton ones.
Probably. Then we had Prince Puma versus not Johnny Mundo, a.k.a. Ricky Mandel.
A.k.a. trying to be Johnny Mundo.
A.k.a. I got about 3 moves of offense, and Puma kicked my ass.
Mundo.
Yeah. Beat him with a pile driver.
Yeah.
Instead of the 630. So, Angry Puma is...
Angry.
Much more aggressive.
Yes.
He's got a lot of angst. And we actually saw him in our next segment, which was Rey Mysterio coming to show A little bit of support for Dragon Azteca, who is in the main event against Dante Fox. Ray should be training, but he's like, hey, I wanted to be here. I wanted to make sure that, that you had the right support. And so Dragon Azteca talks about how it would be an honor to face him for the championship at Ultima Lucha. And then Prince Puma came in and said, well, I advanced in the tournament, and so, it could be me.
Yeah, he told Ray that he better beat Johnny Mundo.
Yeah.
Because he wants another shot to beat Rey Mysterio, and he would prefer it if it were for the Ultima Lucha Championship.
And he promises that he won't lose this time.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But then in our main event, Dante Fox versus El Dragon Azteca Jr.
This is a fun match.
Awesome. Great chemistry between these two.
I enjoyed what they did.
Lots of back and forth stuff. Lots of fun to watch.
The first sequence where they were doing a lot of running on the ropes and passing by each other, and eventually Dragon Azteca fell to the outside, and then Fox followed him out with a dive, and then ran back in and followed him with an over the top
the
tope somersault plancha. Looked really cool.
Yeah. No, they're two very quick guys. I was reminded of how much I like AR Fox, watching him just because I don't get to see him on TV all that often.
Yeah, no.
So I've seen him on a few DVDs and a few YouTube matches, but watching this, I'm like, yeah, that's why I like this guy, because he's really fucking good, and he meshes well with a lot of people. It's nice that Dragon Azteca was one of those guys that we weren't sure about, and he's really coming to his own. He's fun to watch as well.
I still think he needs to ditch the weird lizard helmet, but
well, stick to the gimmick, man. But
he should get inducted into the Snake Tribe. He's also a dragon,
maybe.
But not as dragony as Drago.
Yeah, no one's as dragony as Drago. Drago is literally Spanish for dragon.
Yeah.
But the issue with this match is that Rey Mysterio was at ringside, because the fact that he was there made him a target for the Worldwide Underground, even though he did get the first shot by kicking Taya in the face.
Yeah, I mean he got the advantage up until 4 members of the Worldwide Underground were out there.
Yeah, he took out Taya, he took out PJ, and then he took out Ricky Mandel, and then it was after Johnny Mundo actually came out himself, and then we even had Jack Evans with his fucking jaw wired shut out there as well. They're all beating the shit out of Rey Mysterio. Dragon Azteca takes it upon himself to dive out onto the group of people, but that's enough of a distraction that when he gets back in, Dante Fox is ready for him, hits him with the Fox Catcher, and Dante Fox is moving forward in the Cueto Cup.
Yeah. What about Killshot didn't take the opportunity to, distract Dante Fox during this match?
Because he's not petty.
But he is Manny Petty.
Is he?
I don't know.
Next week we get the first 3 matches of round 2. We have Paul London versus Mil Muertes. We have Jeremiah Crane versus Taya. And we have Phoenix versus Marty the Moth.
That is interesting. I am really looking forward to the Phoenix versus Marty the Moth.
Yes, that's going to be great.
That's going to be a really good match.
Yeah.
Paul
London versus Mil Muertes, though. I'm not sure what to think about that one.
No, well, but also, what kind of state is Mil Muertes going to be in after the attack from Jeremiah Crane? And what's going to go down in Jeremiah Crane versus Taya?
I couldn't even begin to tell you.
Well, you know what? You don't have to tell me, and I don't have to tell you, because we're going to watch it next week.
We are indeed. So for now, guys, thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Click the links down in the description.
There's a lot of links.
Check out the podcast.
That's one of the links.
Check out Reasonable Wrestling Fans.
It's reasonable with a W. Like wrestling.
But for now, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you at whatever video you you decide to watch next? Like predictions or a top 5? Or,
Those are all coming up
I mean,
after this one.